Riddance of Superstitions. Buddhism does not accept such practices as fortune-telling, wearing magic charms for protection, fixing lucky sites for building, prophesying and fixing lucky days. All these practices are considered useless superstitions in Buddhism. However, because of greed, fear and ignorance, some Buddhists still try to stick to these superstitious practices. As soon as people understand the Buddha's teachings, they realize that a pure heart can protect them much better than empty words of fortune-telling, or wearing nonsense charms, or ambiguous chanted words, and they are no longer rely on such meaningless things. In the noble teachings of the Buddha, it is honesty, kindness, understanding, patience, generosity, forgiveness, loyalty and other good qualities that truly protect us and give us true happiness and prosperity. Strange principles and unorthodox theories, belief or right unreasoningly upheld by faith, such as venerating the head of tiger and buffalo, the snake and centipede deities, the Laras, consulting fortune-teller, reading the horoscope, don't belong to the Buddhist teachings. Buddhism means wisdom, and Buddhism never accepts superstitions. However, superstitious beliefs and rituals are adopted to decorate a religion in order to attract the multitude. But, after some time, the creeper which is planted to decorate the shrine outgrows and outshines the shrine, with the result that religious tenets are relegated to the background and superstitious beliefs and rituals become predominant. With Buddhism, to believe religion without understanding it thoroughly, it's a blind faith, or it's not different from superstition, even though understanding, but understanding without finding, to see if it's right or wrong, in accordance or not in accordance with truth, with reality. It's also a form of superstition, or wrong belief. Believe that when you sow a seed of hot pepper, you will have a hot pepper tree, and eventually you will reap hot pepper fruit. However, even though you have already sown the seed of hot pepper, but you realize that you don't like to eat fruit that is hot, you stop fertilizing and watering the hot pepper tree. The tree will wither and die, and will not produce any fruit. Similarly, if you know an action is bad and unwholesome, you refuse to act. Of course you will not receive any bad or unwholesome consequence. But Buddha refuses to believe that whatever happens to a person, either good or bad, is due to chance, fate or fortune. Everything that happens has a specific cause or causes, and there must be some tight relationships between the cause and the effect. Those who want to believe in Buddhism should not rush to become a Buddhist with the wrong understanding or blind belief in Buddhism. You should take your time to do more researches, to ask questions, and to consider carefully before making your final decision. Religions that worship God have always considered reason and wisdom as the enemy of faith, and dogma for them there exists only believe or not believe and nothing else. In fact, if we accept that there exists a so-called Almighty God, we cannot accept any of the findings of modern science, neither Darwin's science of biological evolution, nor the theories of the nature and evolution of the universe coming from modern physics. They believe that a so-called Creator God invented humankind and the universe all at once, and that these three realms of God, man and universe, all are separate. However, modern science agrees with what the Buddha taught almost 26 centuries ago, and proves that the universe has one infinite process of change. Furthermore, the belief of salvation by God caused a serious danger to the whole world, especially from the 1st century to the end of the 19th century, for those who believe in the salvation of God believe that they must impose salvation on others. For this reason, Catholic countries sent their troops and priests all over the world to save others by force. And as a result, millions of people got killed or slaughtered and subjugated in the name of God. Buddhism is in contrast with other religions that believe in God. Buddhism teaches that one must develop wisdom. However, wisdom in Buddhism is not simply believing in what we are told or taught. True wisdom is to directly see and understand for ourselves. With this wisdom, people will have an open mind that listens to others' points of view rather than being closed-minded. People will also carefully examine facts that contradicts their belief rather than blindly believing. Sincere Buddhists never believe in the law of eternity. The Buddha accepts the law of impermanence or change and denies the existence of eternal substances. Matter and spirit are false abstractions that, in reality, are only changing factors, or dharmas which are connected, and which arise in functional dependence on each other. Thus, Buddhist faith means that the devotee accepts the Buddha as a teacher and a guide, his doctrine as way of life, and the Sangha community as the exemplars of this way of life. According to Buddhist point of view in faith, everyone is completely free to make his own choice in faith. No one has the right to interfere with other people's choice. Let's take a close look in the Buddha's teaching in the Kalama Sutra. Nothing should be accepted merely on the ground of tradition, or the authority of the teacher, or because it is the view of a large number of people, distinguished or otherwise. Everything should be weighed, examined and judged, according to whether it is true or false, in the light of one's own true benefits. If considered wrong, they should not be rejected, but left for further considerations. Therefore, we see clearly that Buddhism is based on personal experience, rationalism, practice, morality, and insight. There is no need to propitiate gods or masters. There is no blind adherence to a faith, rigid dogmas, rituals, scriptures, or myths. The Buddha always confirmed his disciples that a salvation can only be gained by man, and by man only during his life, without the least help from a so-called god or gods. In short, Buddhist practitioners get rid of superstitions. Also means we let go unnecessary mistakes on our own path of cultivation. This is one of the most wonderful methods of letting go of Buddhist practitioners.